Sometimes in life you come across something that on paper sounds absolutely perfect for you. And I had that with a certain Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. I looked at the different components of it and I thought, that is so me. And in the same way, my friend could have looked at it and thought, that is so Kate. She's gonna love it. But actually, I found the reality rather disappointing. My rocky relationship with cats began in around about 1999. I was a little kid and I was obsessed with regular cats, so much so that one time at the book fair, I bought a book about how to look after cats and they were like, oh, so you have a pet cat? And I was like, no, I just wanted the book. I just wanted to see the cats. I saw a trailer for the movie version of Cats and it looked so cool. There was all these cats all over the stage. They were singing, they were dancing. I couldn't imagine loving anything more than this movie. I begged my mum and we went to Blockbuster and we rented the video. And for those of you who didn't grow up in the 90s, let me just tell you, renting the video was a big deal. It was like a commitment. The only thing more committing than renting the video was actually buying the video, but you'd only do that if you're a millionaire. Like, you need to know that you like the video before you buy it, because otherwise that you just have to be like made of money to like buy all the videos that you just think you might like. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. I rented the video of Cats and I went home and I was really excited because I was so sure that this was a movie that I was going to love. And I put it on and honestly, it didn't hold my attention. I watched about 20 to 30 minutes, I'd say at a guess. And I remember the exact moment I turned off. It was when these two cats came on, Rumpelteazer and the other one. And they called themselves Acro Cats. And even at a young age, that made me cringe. Years and years go by, and eventually one day I find out that our local theatre company is putting on a production of Cats the Musical. Now, at this point, I remember back to in 1999 when I was watching that video, and it didn't really capture my attention, but I think years have went by since 1999. I am now a theatre kid. I understand musicals a lot better than I did back then. I think it's time to give Cats another chance. I think that I will understand this a lot better this time and I'll be a lot more open to it. And the local theatre company was filled with friends and people that I knew from when I was a theatre kid. So I felt like if I went along, I'd be more open to the idea of Cats the Musical. So sure enough, me and my boyfriend booked tickets and we went along to see Cats. This local theatre group, they put on wonderful productions. They do the very, very best. It's not half-hearted at all. So I could see everybody pulling out the best dance moves, the best costumes, and it looked really good. It did look really, really good. The orchestra sounded fantastic. The lighting, the staging, everything about this looked absolutely fine. But honestly, I just still wasn't feeling a storyline to Cats. If I had been on my own, and if this hadn't been the local theatre company, I would have left at break time, because as wonderful as this show was put together, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. It's not a good show, in my opinion. Like, there's no plot line there. There isn't a plot line in the first half of this show. So then we come back in and we're watching the second half, and again, I am bored. I'm so bored. Once the show finishes, we go home, and I'm like, that is probably the worst musical I have ever seen. The other big issue I had with it is they were calling the cats Jellicos. That was like the kind of little cat gang. And in the lyrics of the show, they say a Jellico cat is a black and white cat. And all the cats on stage were meant to be Jellicos. There was meant to be 60 Jellico cats on this stage. Now, I'm not being funny here, but if you've ever tried to stage something and they say every character is meant to be in black and white, you don't really get a chance to show any personality. Like, the whole point of costuming is you get to see the characters, you get to understand who they are, and to have so many characters on the stage looking the same would be confusing. So there was only one character who was dressed in black and white, and I spent a long time thinking, so is he a Jellico and the rest of them aren't? I don't understand. One of the conclusions was a cat is not a dog. And at that point, I almost yelled out, "Oh, for goodness sake!" I don't want to swear, but I felt like screaming at that point because I'd been there in that theatre for 3 hours just to learn that a cat is not a dog. Was that it? Was that the best they could come up with? Admittedly, I do like the song Memory. Memory is a beautiful, beautiful song to come from this show, but honestly the rest of it, I'm surprised it's a long-running musical. I'm surprised that wasn't just something that was put on for entertainment and then forgotten about, because honestly, I do not like that show. I don't think it's good at all. So I went home and I went onto Facebook and I said something along the lines of, note to self, no matter how talented the cast, crew, orchestra and anybody else involved in a production of Cats is, don't go and see Cats again, because that's 3 hours of my life I will never get back. Maybe that was a bit mean. I don't know. I can hold my hands up and say if certain people had read that status, they would have been upset by that. But I went through my friend list. I tried to make sure that none of the kids from this production were able to see my Facebook, because I really think kids especially would maybe not see that I was talking about the show itself as opposed to their production. I really didn't want to dishearten them when they'd done such a good job. So I made sure I had no kids on my Facebook. I did have one member of the production team, but I knew that they were going to understand what I was saying. And other than that, I thought there was going to be no issues with this. Me and a friend are talking about the show on Facebook. We're talking about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we would improve if we were to put it on ourselves, or if we had the power to rewrite it entirely. And then another one of my friends comes on and they start defending the show, and they're like, what you said was a little mean. And I realised that they were involved backstage with the show of Cats I'd just seen, and they took offence to the fact, I'm guessing, that I'd said that was 3 hours of my life I would never get back. And they possibly missed that I was talking about the show itself as opposed to the production. So I did apologise. I did say I am sorry if I've offended you in any way with what I've said. This isn't visible to any of the kids involved in the show. I didn't think anybody from the production was going to see it, so I do apologise if it came across as a little overly blunt, because you weren't the intended audience. And really, he wasn't the intended audience, more out of courtesy than anything. It wasn't that I wouldn't have said this to anybody involved in the show's face. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't cause any drama, which apparently it was. So then he went away. He never said anything to me after that. I've never spoken to him since again. But I don't know if anybody else from the show saw that, because a couple of my other friends kind of butted in and defended me and said, you've read this wrong. Look, she said, you lot are talented. It's the show itself she's critiquing. But whatever. I think I've possibly lost a friend over that particular production of Cats. So that's twice now that I've went to see it, or made an effort to watch it. That's twice I've been disappointed. And now I hear that Taylor Swift is rumoured to be in a new movie version of it. And I'm pretty sure back in whatever year it was when I saw the show, I went home saying, not even if Taylor Swift was in this show would I go and see it again, because it was disappointing. So by my own definition, I'm not going to go and see Cats. I wish Taylor the best with it. I wish everybody else the best with this. But honestly, I think Andrew Lloyd Webber has done better. And I think he could have done better with that one. Am I a bad Taylor Swift fan for not wanting to go and see the movie? No, not at all. Because honestly, I think it's like a very childish view that you have to love everything she does. That's just not the way that being a fan of anything works. Like, you can support certain projects, you can decide that certain things aren't for you. You don't have to be like a blind follower and agree with everything that somebody does. If you're somebody who likes Cats the show, then I'd really like to know what you see in it that I don't. And I'm not trying to be like hostile or anything. I would genuinely like to know what it is that you like about the show. If you want to tell me down below, I'd love to hear it. I'm just not seeing it, and maybe I need to hear somebody else's perspective on it. If you are looking forward to the film, I hope you enjoy it. If anybody has any comments or stuff they want to put down below, I look forward to reading them. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. Cheerio. Cats and we go meow. Look what's that over there. It's another freaking cat. It's a cat. Sorry, the door went when I went to do my end screen. Thank you for watching, everybody. There's various links around the screen. And thanks again. I hope you have a great day. Cheerio.